When it comes to securing your network, two tools often come up in the conversation: firewalls and intrusion prevention systems, or IPS. But what exactly do they do? And how do they differ? More importantly, which one is better at keeping your network safe? That's what we're going to explore today. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how firewalls and IPS work, their unique strengths, and which one might be the best fit for your needs. So let's get started. Let's start with firewalls. At its core, a firewall is like a gatekeeper for your network. It sits between your internal network and the outside world, monitoring all incoming and outgoing traffic. Its primary job is to enforce rules about what kind of traffic is allowed. For example, you can set up a firewall to block traffic from specific IP addresses, restrict access to certain ports, or even filter out traffic based on the type of application being used. Firewalls are fantastic at controlling access and keeping out unwanted visitors, but they're not designed to detect or stop sophisticated attacks. They're more about setting boundaries than analyzing what's happening inside those boundaries. Now let's talk about IPS, or intrusion prevention systems. Unlike firewalls, which focus on controlling access, IPS is all about detecting and stopping threats in real time. Think of it as a security guard who's constantly patrolling your network looking for signs of trouble. IPS systems analyze network traffic for patterns that match known attack signatures or suspicious behavior. For example, if someone tries to exploit a vulnerability in your system or launch a brute force attack, the IPS will detect it and take action to block the threat. The key difference here is that IPS doesn't just monitor traffic, it actively responds to threats as they happen. But this level of protection comes at a cost. IPS systems can be resource intensive and they require regular updates to stay effective. One of the biggest differences between firewalls and IPS is how they handle traffic. Firewalls operate at the network level, making decisions based on things like IP addresses, ports, and protocols. They're great at blocking traffic that doesn't meet your rules, but they're not so great at detecting threats that slip through those rules. IPS, on the other hand, operates at the application level, analyzing the content of the traffic itself. This allows it to detect threats that a firewall might miss, like malware hidden in a seemingly harmless file or a zero-day exploit that hasn't been seen before. But because IPS is analyzing traffic in such detail, it can sometimes slow down your network or generate false positives, which can be a headache to manage. Another key difference is how firewalls and IPS handle threats. Firewalls are proactive, they block traffic before it even reaches your network. IPS, on the other hand, is reactive. It detects and stops threats as they happen. This means that while firewalls are great at preventing unauthorized access, they're not as effective at stopping attacks that manage to get past the initial barrier. IPS, meanwhile, is designed to catch those attacks in real time, but it can't prevent them from reaching your network in the first place. This is why many organizations use both systems together, creating a layered defense that combines the strengths of both approaches. Let's talk about deployment. Firewalls are typically deployed at the perimeter of your network, acting as the first line of defense. They're often built into routers or standalone devices, and they're relatively easy to set up and manage. IPS, on the other hand, is usually deployed inside the network, where it can monitor traffic between devices. This allows it to catch threats that originate from within the network, like a compromised device trying to spread malware. Some modern systems combine firewall and IPS functionality into a single device, known as a Unified Threat Management (UTM) system. These devices offer the best of both worlds, but they can be more expensive and complex to manage. Now let's talk about performance. Because firewalls operate at the network level, they're generally faster and less resource intensive than IPS systems. This makes them a good choice for networks with high traffic volumes or limited resources. IPS, on the other hand, requires more processing power to analyze traffic in detail, which can slow down your network if it's not properly configured. This is why it's important to choose an IPS system that's designed to handle the specific needs of your network. If you're running a small network with limited traffic, a basic IPS might be enough. But if you're running a large network with complex traffic patterns, you'll need a more robust solution. Another factor to consider is the type of threats you're most concerned about. Firewalls are great at blocking common threats like unauthorized access, port scans, and denial of service attacks. But they're not as effective at detecting more sophisticated threats like advanced persistent threats, APTs, or zero-day exploits. IPS, on the other hand, is specifically designed to detect and stop these kinds of attacks. By analyzing traffic in real time, IPS can identify suspicious behavior and take action to block it before it causes damage. This makes IPS a valuable tool for organizations that are at high risk of targeted attacks. Let's not forget about maintenance. Both firewalls and IPS require regular updates to stay effective. Firewalls need to be updated with new rules and policies to reflect changes in your network or the threat landscape. IPS, meanwhile, needs to be updated with new attack signatures and behavior patterns to detect the latest threats. This means that both systems require ongoing attention and resources to keep them running smoothly. If you're not prepared to invest the time and effort into maintaining your security systems, neither firewalls nor IPS will be able to protect your network effectively. So which one is better, firewall or IPS? The answer depends on your specific needs. If you're looking for a simple, cost-effective way to control access to your network, a firewall might be all you need. But if you're dealing with more sophisticated threats or running a larger network, an IPS can provide the extra layer of security you need. And in many cases, the best solution is to use both systems together. By combining the strengths of firewalls and IPS, you can create a layered defense that's much harder for hackers to penetrate. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to stay informed and proactive. Cybersecurity is constantly evolving, and the threats we face today are very different from the threats we faced a few years ago. By understanding how firewalls and IPS work and how they can be used together, you'll be better equipped to protect your network from whatever comes your way. So, whether you're a network administrator, a cybersecurity enthusiast, or just someone looking to protect your online presence, I hope this video has given you the information you need to make the right decision for your network. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos on cybersecurity and network protection. Stay safe out there.